Okay. Hello and welcome to Naija's Geeking podcast, episode 185. I'm not sure if I got that correctly, but yeah, we'll
You,
continue.
you you are right for once. Jesus Christ. We live,
Yes,
I
we have
live for
our
one. I
grumpy
live for 1 week, and you guys are just messing up anyhow. And look at you. Look at
Except
you.
for
we have
once.
our grumpy old man back. Yeah, he has gotten his much needed bed rest and he's back today in his with his global voice and creepy, telling us how everything used to be better in his days. But it's all good. We're glad to have you back here, Dapo. How are you doing?
In my day, there was black and white. No, all this color everywhere,
You see,
color TV.
I was listening. I listened to that podcast last week, and I just felt, look at these young whippersnappers that have no respect. Talking to the venerated wisdom, people, wise people that you should be listening to and bowing respect. You're just talking anyhow. It's not your fault. It's the world. It's the world we find ourselves in. But anyway, I'm fine. I'm good. That aside, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, good. Kelly, how are you doing?
I'm good today. It's good to be back again.
Yeah,
Just,
okay, okay.
just so that you know that Red is very angry, and he's very upset that he could not make this
We didn't lie though.
podcast. He said
Yeah, he
that.
needs more bed rest. Like he needs to get some. Like he needs to,
Okay.
yeah, he needs to recharge his energies for next year. For next time we can make it.
Okay.
But yeah, we wish him all the best. Yeah. So now this week I think Dakpo got some comments on social media accusing him
Yes.
specifically of
Yes.
his biased reviewing
By
on
name.
the podcast. Like, yeah, like, and they realize that everybody else here
Right.
is usually very fair, except Dakpo, who has a lot of hate filled in his heart.
Right. So yes, there was a comment on social media by an account called Timmy Direm. Now, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that this is a genuine account and not one of Kex's burner accounts that is using to attack me for no reason.
Yeah.
Basically, I'll read that comment. It basically says, like Kex said in this week's episode,
Yes.
you guys have been incredibly unfair to X-Men 97
Incredibly.
and watching it with beef.
Yes.
Some of the grievances against the show, especially from that
Name
one,
them by name. Yes.
have made no sense to me. So basically,
Yes.
I'm talking rubbish. Okay.
Yes.
God deal. You know, there were a few weak episodes, which he admits himself. But overall, it's been a good season with strong writing, despite trying to do many of the arcs in such a short time. But it mostly worked. So this guy obviously takes weed.
I would say that about any of our faithful listeners. I would not co-sign
This
that.
is why we don't read out audience comments because we'll just end up making enemies.
And the animation is not bad. It's just the style used. It's just the style used that. Yeah, I think that's it. So that was coming from Timmy Dirham.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm going to address his points, to be honest, yes, I was watching with beef. That one, I'll put my hand up. I didn't want to watch the show from the beginning. I don't have a good history of the show from originally, so I have zero nostalgic love for the show from the very beginning. And I wasn't going to watch it, but you guys overtalked the game, and I went to watch it. So there was a yes. So that is good. I think my grievances were very much point on, but
Nah, they weren't. They weren't.
Now, just to counterpoint his point, we had another comment on social media from Soul King TV. And I've checked this account. It's a verified individual account, not connected to anybody. A very sensible account.
Go ahead and laugh. I can tell where this is going.
And he goes, well, to be honest, he's a group of all of us, really. So it's not. He goes, you guys seem to be the only ones making sense and telling the truth when it came to the show. Although you and Red really went in on it, Sha. Basically, me and Red.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I remember watching the first episode and thinking that was fast. And it was like that throughout for the most part.
Yeah,
that's
true. Yeah.
So King
Yeah.
TV, he actually did a little rant. He did a little video on social media about how he felt they rushed too many episodes.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
if you
I'll
guys
watch that.
have a time, have a quick watch about it. Yeah. So those are our comments of the week.
Thank you guys for listening, despite what that was says. We value you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So well, like I mean, yeah, there was a lot of anger towards the show because they're taking a lot of our favorite acts, and
Mhm.
it's not as if like people recognize that there were good things happening in the show, which made it worse. If it's that the writing was flat or it was childish or it was bad, you could at least excuse some of this. Like, look at Adventures with Superman. The writing is not great, so it's easier to forgive. But there are moments in the show where it looks like they have a good idea. Look at that, was shaking his head and saying,
You know what? I still don't see how this is fair. Like I don't get it. But you know, I'm not the biggest.
I've not even said a word. I've just
I'm
been
not the
quiet.
biggest X-Men 97 fan, but I'm like, how are you?
Oh no, you are.
eh,
No,
You are
no,
nah,
really.
no, it's not. It's not actually.
I'm
You should see some
genuinely
of the
not.
comments online.
Genuinely
Like
not. Like,
the way people love this show, I
yeah, I mean,
can't actually
Oh
understand it.
yeah.
It's like
Okay.
Loki all over again to me. The amount of love that this show is
this
getting.
is, I think this gets more love than Loki. I mean, this is like the upper 90s percentile of
Yeah,
like.
No,
correct.
I mean like in that I don't relate.
You cannot connect to it.
I
Yes.
can't comprehend like
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
they
yeah.
are seeing in this show that is making it
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
all that for them.
Yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
I think for me that's the biggest struggle I have. Some shows that I don't like, that people like, I can sometimes understand why they like it and why I don't like it.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Some shows where maybe I like it a lot and others don't hate, I can also understand. But
Why?
in this one, I'm fully disconnected between the high praise, the high scores, and my own feeling of the show. But you know, sometimes it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so let old news stay in the old news until next year because I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
been
yeah.
renewed for season 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So
God help
we'll
us.
come at it again next year.
No, but
Or maybe at the end of the year when we are doing a general
one
review.
one quick comment. So if they've renewed it for season 2 and season 3,
Yeah.
based on the pace of the first season, by the end of season 3, we'll be up to date with Krakoa.
You know, it's very possible. I'm serious.
Very possible.
I
I'm
can see that
serious
coming. Yeah.
because
Because
I don't.
they are speed running a lot.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. Yeah, I can.
But on that note, do you think they will follow the old X-Men 97 of going through every arc, no matter how bad it is? Or
No,
they
no,
will
there
do
will be some
some,
that they'll have to skip.
because
There will be
like
some that they'll have to skip.
there is a
Like things
period of
like
X-Men where it's
yeah,
just tearing the whole.
yeah, things like AVX. Oh, they will do AVX. They will
They'll do
do AVX.
AVX.
They will do AVX. They will skip Access. Is it Access or Secret Access or do you know the one with
Axis of
the
Evil, yeah, that's
Axis of Evil? Yeah. The one with the you know the one with the
Yeah.
Red Skull. They will skip that. And so
yeah.
uh they will do Holocaust. They will do Onslaught.
Hey,
I'm sorry. They will
also,
do
Onslaught
Onslaught.
is definitely next year.
They will do Onslaught.
Age of Apocalypse.
They will do
Apocalypse
Age
is
of Apocalypse.
definitely going to do
They'll
that.
cover.
Yeah.
They'll cover it in 3 episodes. They'll do Age of Apocalypse.
Oh god.
That's the end of season 2. I'm almost
Yeah,
sure that's
yeah,
the end of
yeah.
season 2. Age of
You know what? That's a
Apocalypse.
good point. That's a good point. Yes, David will come, kill
Mm,
this guy. Yeah. So right. Yeah.
yeah.
So they will blitz through most of the major stories
Outlines.
and
Okay.
arcs. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so painful. Like these stories, some of these stories, they deserve a proper treatment with
Yeah.
good
Absolutely.
writers.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, moving on. Or any other comments?
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, okay, good. Moving on. Giancarlo Esposito is being cast in Captain America New World Order. That this movie is supposed to come out February 14 next year. He has been cast in an unnamed role that he claims is going to be a surprise to fans. And we've seen the first costume or the first set picture of him, and he's with a lot of knives, I think.
Yep.
And it's like I don't think we've been able to make the connection of which character he is supposed to be. Any
I,
comments or
I've
guesses?
looked at this long and hard. I've scratched my brains. I've made some connections that make no sense whatsoever. So to be honest, I have no idea. I have no idea who this character is. You know.
I can't guess. So I didn't even notice the knives. I just kind of looked at it. I just saw the person was wearing pseudo military gear, and I was like, okay, this is going to be someone I don't expect it to be.
So
yeah,
my clues.
Yeah.
The knives you're wearing, that style of wearing knives is very Spanish or very Latin American style.
Yeah. Okay.
And him being who he is, I can see maybe why he wants to play whatever this character is. But when I try to look to the law, back to the law, I can't pick anybody. The spider comes to mind, but he doesn't. He's not dressed like that at all. So I'm really struggling to know who this character is.
Yeah, but I'm like,
I guess
I don't know. Seeing Giancarlo in an action character is just.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I can't
wait,
imagine it.
okay.
But
I was gonna say bullseye, but
did we not see that in is it Mandalorian?
Oh
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
Boss Gideon.
It was still Moff Gideon was still Giancarlo's stereotype. It was until the end where what I was stable, but it was like still voicing the menacing bad guy.
Okay.
I don't think this person is going to be like a full action character though.
You saw the guy the way he was in his costume, like he was walking down. Because Giancarlo acted one very bad action movie recently, where it was where he did the Liam Neeson type character, and it was.
Oh really? Okay, I've not seen that. Okay.
I think he's too old to do those. To be honest, like a full action, I think it might just be a cool knife character, but I don't think he's going to do like any full on action.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, when is this movie coming out again?
This movie is supposed to come out next year, February 14th.
Okay, so February 14th next year. Okay.
We never talk about Marvel news.
It's funny now. I know.
It's very funny.
I know. It's sad. And the thing is, I want this movie to do well just because of only because of Anthony Mackie. He's finally getting a shot at Shield. Yeah. I like Anthony Mackie. I like him. If only that he's paid his dues with Marvel and stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's see how it goes. It doesn't have to be, shitloads of money, but if he gets critical reception, I'm happy. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. For me, I think I actually want this movie to do well, but not because of Anthony Mackie. It's because of the writers. They are the same guys behind the TV show. And I think that TV show, for me, on the surface, is one of the ones I like the most. And it's one of the ones that got fucked the most by COVID. Because they had to do, you could see it in the script where they had to change a whole section of the story, backstories of some of the villain characters and everything. And even despite that, they still have some of the strongest acting and some moments there, which I think are very iconic. Like this guy with his shield, killing that guy. Yeah, like that's an iconic moment. There are some very good lines here and there. Where
I did think this show had some very, very strong moments. But I think personally the biggest letdown were definitely the last episode and maybe the one before it for me. I mean, one of my favorite scenes was the whole Dora Milaje when they came for the shield. I love that scene. They disgraced that guy.
They didn't even have superpowers. Ah, no, too much.
I felt for that guy
there. I laughed so crazy like that scene.
But
it was one of my favorite ones too.
Because even the last episode, you could see that the storyline we were trying to tell in the beginning, it was actually changed at the end. Just to get rid of the original point. Because like there are some characters that were just left loose instead of playing the critical roles they wanted them to play. And I think one of the best things for me in that show was the Carl Lumbly and
Yes,
the
yes.
conversation.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like there were shades of great writing in that
Yes,
particular
yes,
show. Like it
yes.
hit a lot of high points for me. Even Bucky's apology to the old man,
Yeah.
like emotionally touching stuff. So I really want them to succeed in this particular movie because I think they are the best. They've proven they are the best people that can handle the what's his name, Anthony's Mark. Anthony,
It's Falcon. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, but they can handle that transition from Falcon to Captain America because for me it was corny in the comic. I didn't like it.
To me,
So
it's weird. I have to agree with you.
yeah,
In all media, Anthony Mackie is my favorite Falcon. I've never liked that character at all in the
yeah,
comics and anywhere. With Anthony Mackie playing it, I didn't mind it at all. So
mm,
it's my favorite incarnation of the character. I still think almost by design, it's a lame character. Almost by design, but I think Anthony Mackie elevates it a bit above where it's normally is in the
yeah,
comics. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
okay,
yeah, he definitely it is maybe my top 3 MCU series. I mean, they've not been particularly great ones, but it's definitely top 3 because the more I think about it now, I even remember some of the really cool parts.
Oh,
yeah,
Even the conversations between Bucky and Sam.
Oh
yeah,
And when Bucky comes at the end to the cookout or whatever, and
yeah,
they're fixing to vote,
yeah,
and Sam's
yeah.
sister is there, and, and he wants to sit beside Sam's sister, and then like Sam kind of blocks it, so Bucky
Yeah.
has to go around and like, so little things like that, I was like,
I mean,
yeah, there
I
are
think the show was
shades
good.
of,
I think, as you said, for me,
shades of
the
greatness.
the finale was terrible in
no.
my view.
Yeah,
See how far we've fallen. I remember when we were watching these early MCU shows, and we are so nitpicky about every tiny
yeah,
detail. That
we
they
were,
didn't get
we
this,
were
they
very
didn't
much,
get this. It's not up to
very much
standard.
so.
But now we are like, oh wow, take us back to those days, those beautiful days.
We were spoiled. We didn't know it.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely were.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And speaking of taking us back, Umbrella Academy dropped the trailer for their final season.
Mm,
I've never seen a trailer so underwhelming to me.
okay.
Like so much
Oh,
of what I personally expected. Like I watched the trailer and it's Umbrella Academy. There's nothing new, nothing exciting. It's like this trailer can be for season 1 and I won't notice.
and in a weird way, this is what confused me about this trailer
Yeah.
because I said I was watching. I'm thinking, have I forgotten what happened in last season? Isn't this guy dead? So I was getting very confused, but I'm guessing because they use the word timelines, and I think there was some a lot of underground maps that seem to be like a universal timeline map.
Mm.
Like a
So I'm guessing,
multiverse. So
yes, type of.
yeah.
So I'm guessing that's what they're doing because I'm sure the way they lined up shouldn't be how they line up if I remember correctly from the previous seasons.
So I
The
can't remember quite
the
clearly
the monster lad, surely he's dead.
who.
The guy who can conjure monsters.
Oh, Kraken.
Yep.
Yeah. He's So what happened at the end of the 3rd season is that
Yep.
after they had fixed some stuff and they went back to their timeline, or after they fixed some stuff and they went back in time,
Mm.
their timeline had changed and they went to another let's say timeline, another reality, another
Okay.
whatever,
Yeah.
where the whole world was fixed. Even their dad, the alien, the Dr. Hargreaves, was
Yeah.
now alive. So they had basically
Right.
changed
Okay.
some
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, okay.
they changed some stuff.
Yeah.
So
So
that's why
yeah. Okay.
that guy is alive now. Jake,
So I kind of
I remember.
so, okay. This is everybody back from the beginning. Okay.
Yes.
Fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't mind the trailer. If I'm being honest, as I was watching it, I just realized I've always enjoyed it. It's one of those shows where I go in almost after the first season. I used to go in the second season. Ugh. But I always end up enjoying it. I just like the interactions and
So
the
I was you plucked exactly how I feel about Umbrella Academy
right.
out of
Okay.
the head. So Umbrella Academy is one that it has, for me personally, been consistently good.
Mm.
Sometimes you start it and you're like, "Ah, okay, where is this going?" But by the end of it, I'm like, okay, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And it's been the same way for season 1, season 2, season 3. And it's because of the characters. And I remember at the start of season 3, where they do this footloose sequence where they're all
Yeah.
dancing. I absolutely loved that. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I love this trailer. I like the music. I like the way they were interacting. It was like siblings that have grown up together, that have known each other very well, and they're getting on each other's nerves. And they're like, and Jake is like, "Oh yeah, let's go kill this fucking bitch." And they're like, "No. This is a rescue mission. We're not going to kill anybody. Just little. You don't have to make that sound. You can mute yourself. It's just little things like that that just make you know that I'm going to miss these guys where they go at the end of this season 4, because I'm like,
seeing 10. I hope that's right.
Which one?
10.
The boy.
Yeah.
He's grown up now.
Yeah, but he still has. I was scared that he would look too old.
Oh, okay,
but he still had that kind of look. That, okay. And I was kind of happy. Oh God, you've not suddenly turned into like an old 25-year-old
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was glad to see them. So I'm like, okay, cool. So August 8th is when this is coming out. Well, all in all, I've enjoyed it very much. So yeah, this is one of those nice Netflix shows.
Yeah. Speaking of nice Netflix shows and consistent movies, Venom. Season 3. But it's perfect that both trailers are released at the same time, because like they occupy similar categories in my mind of TV shows. Like they are not bad as offensive, but I won't go back and rewatch them.
Right,
or
so
if I rewatch them, it's like on the background TV show. It's not something I will come out and say I love this.
So if I put Umbrella Academy as a hovering between a 6 and 7 type show over 10, for me Venom would be a 4 hovering around 5 type of
really
movie. Yeah, I'll watch it. I've never really felt this was a good, not even a good film. Okay, I've 90 minutes has gone by. I've seen worse. That's generally been my view of both. I think the first one, which I was very hard on, when I watched the second one, I thought, oh, the first one's way better.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Which says a lot. I think the second one's. If the first one, if I even struggle to give the first one, I think I might push it to a 5.5 over 10 for the first one. The second one is definitely in the 4 region. Yeah, for me.
What happened in the second one again? There was Carnage.
I think that's what really hurts that one was honestly. I think
Carnage.
Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Scream.
We had Shriek.
Shriek. Sorry.
Shriek was there.
Yeah.
Oh, but there was that cool scene. Oh, was that the first one? Where the girlfriend wore the Venom costume.
First one.
That's the first one.
That was the first one.
Yeah,
oh, never mind. Then I don't remember anything good.
There were some funny parts in the second one, but honestly, Woody Harrelson was not a good choice to play Carnage. Yeah, you're right. The first one is better.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think they hover in my mind around between that kind of 4 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 to 6 range, and I think they're kind of not offensive.
Exactly.
They're not offensive.
It's not something you watch thinking you're going to get something God tier out of it. You're watching it and you're like, okay, this is not terrible. This is not completely just being.
This is not Morbius. This is not
Morbius.
It's not bad.
Exactly.
It's not Morbius. So it's like, okay, all right.
And the one thing I would say about these films is, unlike the MCU, where comic knowledge kind of always gives you an idea of where they might be going with the story, or what. I watch these trailers, and I never can guess that what are you guys doing.
I think they made it quite clear from the first one that, listen, anything you think you know from the comic books,
exactly.
This is not the same Eddie Brock. There is no Spider-Man here that he's beefing with. There is no, it's just guy, alien, cannibal.
It's an original story.
Yeah, it's an original story. Yeah.
Honestly, do you think this movie will benefit more by being a completely original story, or it should be completely forgettable? It's just the Venom that is selling it.
No. Oh,
it's just the connection to Spider-Man that is selling it.
Oh,
or
I don't think that's even selling it. Because there's nothing in it that ties to Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man, yeah, but the name.
But the name, and I think we would still watch it if it wasn't Venom. If it was like Slime, we would still watch it.
Yeah, I think at this point
we just wouldn't discuss it on this. On this
apart from comic heads.
Yeah.
the general public don't think there's any connection with Spider-Man.
No, I don't think so.
You know, so it's
fair enough.
One scene in the trailer I kind of liked, and then I thought, but you should have shown that to me because I want to see that film was the cut scene from, I think I always get this mixed up.
Yeah.
The cut scene from Venom3 or from Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It's from Spider-Man.
Where he left a bit behind.
Yeah. It's from Spider-Man.
That bit was cut. Now I am now confused because that was MCU universe.
They are basically saying it's not MCU. That forget about it.
Okay.
Or they are just paying homage to that scene in a tricky way that they captured the what's it called?
But it was but it was the same. It was the same bar guy.
Yeah.
The same bar.
All his life, Danny Rojas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
I think it's just a like what's this one? Nudge, wink, wink. That hey, we know we did that there, but we could never get MCU to allow Venom in their in their universe. So just have this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
I thought it was okay. I found some. You know, I still like their dynamic. Let's not call it body carnival, body alien dynamic that they've got. You know, and clearly, I genuinely believe that Tom Hardy likes playing this character.
Yeah, he's having fun.
You know, when sometimes when well, it's not all the time, but sometimes when someone likes playing something, you're like, okay, I mean, it's not all the time.
It translates,
yeah, but it
kind of
translates
like
you know, the
when
effort
it's a passion project,
So I'm like, okay, you know, I'll let's just do this one. Let's get it over. Is it Venom something or is it just Venom3 or something?
Last Dance.
Last
Dance.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and he was dancing with the lady from the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Vietnamese lady.
Yeah.
And they kind of like she was all glammed up.
Yeah.
So I wonder, maybe that was a sting or something that they were supposed to infiltrate somewhere. But yeah, let's see. Chiwetel was in this one, which I think is sad.
What?
I said Chiwetel Ejiofor was in this one, but I felt it was sad. I was like, Chewy's like big or was big, and now he's like doing like I don't know. It feels like I don't know. It just feels like a almost not henchman-y role, but like a stereotypical, you know, Black Ops, hard ass military guy, and I'm like, you know. Dude, I'm pretty sure you have some like theater cred beneath your, you know, under your belt, and you know, but I think things have dried up for the guy, to be honest.
You have to pay the bills somehow.
Yeah, you got to pay the bills, you know. You know, he started doing all these Ben Kingsley type things. Sorry, today, go on. Question.
Yeah, no. I wanted to ask that. Without the theater is currently performing in box office, how bad did you think it was?
October, right? It's coming out in October. So October is just before Thanksgiving. Do we know anything else that's coming out then?
I don't know. I mean, the fact here is, when I watch a trailer,
this has been a crazy year.
When I put a trailer on,
would both of you go to cinema to watch?
I would.
No. This is what I was trying to make.
I would.
I've seen every single superhero movie in the cinema. For a minute, I paused. That what are you gonna go watch it? Are you gonna wait? I really pause to think that, but I know I will because I tend to. But this first time, I actually, in my mind, started debating that. Should I just wait?
You saw Mobius in cinema?
I've seen everything in cinema. I saw Madam Web in cinema. What are you talking about?
So I don't know why you paused.
That shows how how I feel about the Venom thing. I want to watch it. But I thought, cinema. But I have a cheap cinema near me, so that would definitely be like the $4.99 cinema I'll go to. I won't go to the IMAX to watch this.
Because it's like, I saw the trailer and I'm like, yeah. Seeing how people have been choosing to stay home for certain movies that don't make a certain blockbuster hype epic. Like, and that's the kind of category I'll put Venom in, like them Fall Guy kind of movie.
How well do we know how well the second one did? Because I think
which one? It didn't do well. It didn't do that well.
Well, I think it would do.
It did well enough, but not as good as the first one.
Yeah, I think it would do similar numbers,
really well.
Less.
What?
Yeah. First one did well.
Okay. Yeah. So we are still on the moving on. We are still on the train of very mediocre to mediocre content. Superman the animated show. Did anybody catch the latest episode?
I did. I actually had to catch up on all three because I missed. Remember last time around?
Yeah.
I wasn't. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So what happened this week?
This week was the battle of the journalists, in my view. So I'm gonna say we were introduced to John Henry Irons.
Yes.
I hope that's correct, and I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Okay, very, very correct. So, AKA Still, we introduced to him. He's working with Silas Stone, which is another name we know of. The dad of the dad of Cyborg.
Yeah.
So they're working together, working for a dodgy tech company, Amtrak. I can't remember what it was called. Basically, they're building armor. It's a similar story. Irons has created this design, this armor, but he says we need to take our time to do it well. They want to, like a typical project manager, this stupid PMOs, you know how they behave. Oh, we have a deadline. We need to push this out next week.
Well, my chest.
Let's cut corners. So they kind of built their own prototypes, which, as you expect, was gonna go wrong and badly, and it did. And Superman was there just to clear up the mess. And the subplot here was basically Lois Lane and Vicky Vale were trying to outdo themselves in scooping the story about this. It's a very basic story, in my view. I did put some few comments down as I was watching that last episode, because I know I would forget if I didn't. Now, I think Kex said this last season about this is really an anime version of Superman. Did somebody say that last season? That's meant to have is anime influenced.
Yeah. I think we all kind of agreed on that.
Okay. Yeah. The robot designs here echo that so hard, it's so real. It's almost Gundam type. They're trying to create all the robots seem to have this anime feel, which I don't like.
All of them. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one. There's two things. I shouldn't nitpick, but I will nitpick. I mean, me being who I am. John Henry Irons had this big armor. Like when I say armor, like proper big. It's like at least
It's like. Do you remember? What's the name of that Tom Cruise movie? Live, Die, Repeat. That one, Kill, Die, Repeat.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. It's like that. It's like what they were wearing, the mix suits.
Now, in this costume, this armor. It's not a costume. It's this armor. He has this hammer that's massive. And there's one scene where he's out of the armor, and he has to destroy one last conduit to save the city. And he picks up this hammer. The hammer's not the same size now. It's meant to be that same hammer that he was held with, but it's clearly not as big because as a human you wouldn't be able to pick it. So I mean, again, it's a nitpick, but immediately did it. It was so obvious to me that God, this is not the same size as it was when you were wielding it earlier on. Now, how come it's not conveniently big enough for you to carry? Then there was a scene. So these mechas, that the ones that were going rogue. There's a scene where a drone was fighting these mechas.
What was that drone shooting in their faces?
Confetti. Well, okay, I said confetti. It's not confetti. You know what jet of fights shoot out when they want to confuse radar?
Yeah, strafe. Yeah.
So I thought it was something like that it was put out, and it had some weapons. Okay. But Kex, I'm sorry, today I'm not talking about a drone. Like the kind we would fly around, you fly to shoot yourself.
Yeah.
And this thing was fighting these big, massive mechas. And so, again, a nitpick, but I just laughed. This is the level of this show, if I'm being honest. That's the level. And there's a scene where Superman was trying to contain this sun with his hands. I don't even know how physically. I don't know what the physics.
So I want to talk about this. So Superman has a new power.
Yeah. What is this? Is this blue red?
is just is the tactile telekinesis from Superboy, from Connor, where he can surround himself blah, blah, blah,
Right.
with a TK field, which
Yep.
acts as a shield, or he can, using touch, use it to cover or protect something else, which is something that I don't think we've ever formally established in Superman in the comic books. So this is completely new. Well, it's established in the comic books in terms of, that's why he can lift heavy things.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
right.
why he
Yeah,
can
yeah,
lift
yeah, yeah,
things
yeah,
and
yeah,
it won't
yeah, yeah, yeah,
break.
yeah,
That
yeah,
he
yeah,
has
yeah,
a biokinetic field or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So, but this one is actually using it like actively. He's controlling it. He's wielding it.
But is it, wait, no, but sorry, was he
Okay, go on.
not consciously, right? He's
He
surprised
did
by
it.
it
He did it.
himself.
No, he did it with the sun. So he did it consciously with the sun, right? When he was containing the, you know what I mean by the sun? When I mean that
No,
energy.
no, I agree, but I thought even that was some again. I thought that
Oh no! He knew. That's why he flew to it, and like he literally flew to it and stood there and flew there and put his hands against it. This is an absolutely terrible episode. Like this, in my opinion, is the worst episode of this show, and made me wonder if I actually want to keep watching the show. It's no. You say those things are nitpicks, but they're not. They're really, really, really big problems with the show. I mean, we spoke about it last week where Lewis volunteers Clark and Jimmy
oh god, yes.
for her dad to stay with them, which is really silly, and then it turns out like the general is a bit of a slob. He doesn't tidy up after himself, which is
I
like this
expected that kind of
comedic
plot line.
moment at the start, which wasn't funny. Jimmy is still having issues with his staff, his social media staff, trying to get them to listen to him, particularly Flip. Now, Flip is Naomi, is Steele's niece. Naomi. That if you know Flip, the girl,
the little
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
Naomi.
that's Naomi.
Okay.
Yes, that's her name, right? Naomi,
No,
Steele's
No, we are
Steele's
mistaking her.
Steele's
I
Natalie.
niece.
don't think it's
What's the name?
Naomi.
Natasha.
Natasha, Natasha
Natasha,
Irons.
Natasha. Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Sorry, Natasha Irons. Um, so that's her. Even John Henry here, he's like, he looks like a dad. Like he has a big tummy, he's portly, he's big.
Yeah.
He has hair on his head. Silas here has dreads. Like the characterization or the depiction of these characters to me is so jarring now that I they are keeping racially they are still the same, but they look so different from any iterations I've seen. And the dialogue, okay, so the person who voices Silas voices John Henry as well, and you can tell. And he tries to sound like a black man, and I kind of irritates me. I can't.
Tries
I
to
can't.
sound like a black man.
It's a black person. I'm certain it's a black person that's doing
Oh,
it.
okay.
But he sounds like a black dad. I can't put my finger on it, save if you watch it. And it sounds like a little thing, but I'm like the voice talent for that guy. I was like, nah, this is not working. And the lines that he's delivering. So there's the main baddie here, and I use baddie loosely, is the guy called Weston. So Weston is the PMO that was referring to. He's like a CEO, like the CEO and the mogul of this company who they want to revolutionize security for a metropolis. And they create the mech suits. And now these mech suits are called Metallo. So
okay. I didn't catch it actually. Okay.
That's the Metallo that we know with the kryptonite heart and stuff. But in this case, they are mech suits, the Metallo suits. Now, this and the design of all, I've noticed that the design of mechs in this series, they are all almost the same.
Yeah.
Except for little tweaks. The Kryptonian sentries, the mech suits that Superman fought in the first season, like episode 1 and 2, these ones, they're the same. It's just for a few things moved around. It's still the whole angular, super angular, bits. And for me, it's just it's a stylistic choice because I know the people that did these things are the ones that did Voltron Legendary Defender, which I love.
To be fair, if it's the same, I think the initial for season 1, at least the explanation was that they all derive from the same design, Superman's ship. So
I don't know if this guy got the design from
from
Superman ship,
Manship as
but
well.
I feel that it doesn't hurt to still give a little character to your
Okay.
suits or to your designs. So it's not like, okay, let me just move this here, and like, ta-da, brand new. But no, it's the same thing. Uh,
Okay.
uh, sorry, what was I saying? So the suits, tweak, Kryptonian suits, everything looks the same. Now, at the end of this episode, which is honestly, it's a nothing episode. It's one of the most nothing episodes I've ever seen. The point is, at the end of the episode, the Superman and his crew, they believe that they've shut down the guy, and they've shut down the mech suits because they've been told that the mech suits are unstable due to the power source. But turns out that Amanda Waller actually has like a whole. Basically, the whole episode was Amanda Waller then got the plans, and now she has her own army of these metallo suits, which are super strong. Like they give even Superman a tough time. They're quite durable. I just don't like this. Like even okay, so that well, listen to this. Because as I'm saying it, you will understand because today it's difficult for today to visualize it. So Superman has to fly up and use his force field to stop that sun from going nova, right? The time he does while he's doing that, there are three pillars that John Henry has to knock down. And then once he does that, the power will dissipate and it won't explode. So it was like basically a fusion reactor that thing was like about to explode. Superman then flies. Now my thing is Superman can use super speed to fly and destroy these pillars.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
And it just dissipates. So there was actually no reason for him to fly except they wanted us to see John Henry use the
Yep.
hammer, which he then picks up
It-
as a human, which
yeah.
really it shouldn't be possible. But okay.
Yeah,
I
you're
have
right. That scene it was a contrivance.
yeah,
Someone would have broken those
very
things in less than half a second and still got to contain this one. It was a contrivance to show off John Henry, and I knew he would not finish the third one. He had to come out as a human and then try to do a heroic moment. It was to be honest, and I know this is where Kitty's going to get annoyed.
it's okay.
Because I think I will give this a lot more leeway than I give X-Men 97. And the only reason, because I thought about this, so why am I giving this a lot more leeway? And my answer to myself, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is who is the show actually aimed at?
It's a children's show.
Yeah.
It's a children's show.
When you think that, then I go, oh, okay, this is for kids. And I'm not saying teenagers. This is for kids.
That does not excuse it.
It gives it a bit more leeway.
No.
Than it was aimed at X-Men, like if it was aimed at adults.
I would lie. It kind of does. It kind of gives it. It's a children's show.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone above 12 should be watching this. Any kind of real serious.
That's the level. It's
kind of
literally 12 below.
Yeah.
Which is why you have your flips in here with big rows. That's who they meant to identify with.
Children. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm just most disappointed with well, maybe like you said, it's not aimed for me. It's trying to aim to catch the new generation and bring them into Superman.
Yeah.
But I strongly believe that they ought to have. I had high hopes for season 2. Let me put it that way. Now, season 2 has given me this episode 3 now that genuinely it's about as useful as the Goblin Queen episode in X-Men 97. It's really now what's going to happen is towards the end of this, they're now going to start packing a lot into episodes and rushing through. And you're like, you really could have done without some of the earlier episodes. Like in here, what we have is the Vicky Vale versus Lois Lane.
Yep.
We have Superman discovering a new power. We have Amanda Waller getting her hands on the Metallo suits at the end. I'm just trying to. We have the introduction of John Henry Irons. We have the introduction of Silas Stone. These are all things that I don't believe that we need in this season.
But like
we had
I think you are expecting more serialization from these shows. You're expecting so much serialization, like stories have to continue. Like this kind of show, I think it's a silly show where there would always be all these weird standalone episodes that like it takes you back to the old days of TV. Like if you watch the old Superman animated show,
Yeah.
There are so many. Like the show is basically standalone for the
Yeah.
most part. So it's just
Yeah.
self-contained stories.
Yeah.
It's
So
something at the
so
end.
the
Yeah.
reason why I say I expect that or serialized format here is there are still
Yeah.
some undercurrent stories like Superman still doesn't understand his heritage. We still
Yeah.
know that the Armada is coming to Earth. We still know that Amanda Waller is consolidating her forces with Cadmus and Stryker and whatever she's doing. We still those elements were not in Superman the animated series. So here I'm like,
Styling.
we still know that these things are coming. The Armada is coming, which is a huge threat. Amanda is there, which is also a huge threat. You know, I'm just like all of this stuff is happening, and I don't know. Like, get on with it. Like, you can actually be making giant leaps with the story and hitting us with more stuff in terms of impact. In terms of, I just this just feels so poor to me, and even the Superman elements of this whole series, I'm like, this is poor now. You know, there was a fire. He flies in, saves Silas, talks to him. You know, the kind of things I'm like, get the man out of the fire instead of saying, I'm here to help you. Just wait. You know, I'm like, it's for kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It is.
it's very, 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 very evident now. And
Mm.
I'm struggling to find the ginger to watch it. But okay. Sorry. That's all I wanted to say about this. I'm just
Okay.
really disappointed. Yeah.
Score.
Oh god. Oh god. Okay, you know what? I can't give it a pass mark. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5.
Sounds about right. For
Yeah, and that's
basically bad so far.
with some leeway for what the show
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I'll give it a 1.
Yeah, one.
I'm not even no the reason why is I don't think I'll be able to continue watching it. You know, I watched this thing for 22 minutes then I was like, come
It's
on.
just 22 minutes, Kex.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
give
but
me
even
more
the 20 minutes feel like
something.
homework.
Like I can't remember. I can
No,
remember
I
the
mean
fact
that
I'm talking
it's
about
not
something else.
that long that it's taking that much
But
time away from you.
it is it's so forgettable.
Yeah.
But I genuinely, I don't say this often. I don't honestly. I don't even think I've ever said this thing before. I think I could write a better Superman series than this. I wish I could write a better episode than this. I'm not one of those. Oh, I feel direct feel past this guy. I feel do this. I feel right. No, but I can do it a better episode than this. I'm like, I'm just really
And
disappointed.
the comedy is basic.
Really, it's basic across the board.
Yeah, basic.
You know, I'm just so like, this
Yeah.
is a waste of time.
Even though you say 22 minutes today,
Mm-hmm.
my
Today
mind
was
kept
really
on
bad. Today was
my
the worst
mind
episode
my
I
mind
watched
was
so far.
kept on drifting. As I was watching it, I could not keep focus on
Focus
it.
on it fully.
Yeah, it just did not grab your attention. Oh god, okay. So when something
Okay.
happens that I should have paid it, then I have to stop and rewind it. Oh, what's happening now?
Oh,
Anyway, so yeah, I'll give it 2. He gives it a 1. Yeah, I
So
can't
yes,
argue.
is
I can't argue it's 1.
but the thing is a 12-year-old or is an 11-year-old going to be able to continue sticking it with this castle? Like, if the
To be
Superman
honest,
bits were not great,
it's those kind of where you aim at a 12-year-old,
yeah,
but ideally this is for like a 7-year-old.
yeah, it's probably younger. It's
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
younger.
for
yeah.
like a 7-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. But yeah, now some comic news. Now that we've gotten the mediocre and the bad out of the way. Some comic news. So last week we talked about the Eisner Awards, and we promised that okay, there are lots of good books here that we've not checked out yet, and we decided to start with the Call, which was written by the
Right.
most nominated.
So
Yeah,
before you go on, in your podcast last week,
yeah.
you seem to be throwing shade at a certain company. As a reporter on the Nigeria's Geeking podcast, I would expect you to maintain a level of professionalism, being neutral, and reporting the news, not trying to incite, insults against a company house. Just for I give you, a little heads up on that.
Okay, so
Don't think,
what I said last week
no,
was that a
you
certain
don't need
comic
to repeat
house,
it. You don't need to.
for context, a certain comic house, which has been notoriously poor at winning awards for or gaining recognition for writing good books, as usual, only got 3 nominations this year, and not even for themselves. It was for random stories there, and they're not good, not or even an author, not the book, it's not their house itself, which is a shame.
Back to Cull.
Because there's another comic house. 4 out of the 5 nominations for Best Continuing Series were from this comic house, which on this podcast has been notoriously insulted for having poor quality comics. And here we see it in an industry of their peers. We can see which comic house is more recognized for having good books. I can't see what is unbiased about that report in that poll. Please, can you point me to the factually incorrect thing I mentioned just now?
Listeners out there, I will leave you to judge for yourselves.
Okay, so Kelly Thompson, I think she's the darling of this year. 5 nominations, which is very impressive in this year. And one of our creator-owned comics, The Cull, is also nominated for best series.
I think best limited series.
Best limited series, yeah. So because this is, I think, a 1 volume, 5 issues show, it might get a part 2 later on. But yeah, we tried to take a brief look at this book and we've read it. So what are your thoughts? Or should we break it down? Let's start from the easiest part, the art. Did you guys like it?
Loved it.
The art. I have no issue with the art at all. I enjoyed the art. The art is not an issue at all. Great stuff.
It's an issue at all. Like there's something I noticed about the art. It does a lot of like, you know, when you take pictures in portrait mode.
Yes.
It does a lot of that where it blurs the character in the background. Just to focus on certain characters, and I think the colors are very beautiful. For me,
it's really, really, really nice. Really, really.
The colors are amazingly beautiful. It's like I'm not one that takes too much focus on paintings in the colors in comic books. So me noticing this one means it really stood out to me. So yes, there is that. So I'll give a brief summary of the 5 of the book. It's a very well-known, it's a basic story. It's like we have a group of friends. One of them is looking for their missing brother, and she takes her friends through a particular portal to a mystical land, which generic story but well done. You enter that mystical land, they realize that based on what they are seeing, it's that in-between place to multiple other they are not sure whether it's parallel Earth or time travel or things like that, or even maybe other locations on Earth. But they enter there, things happen, they gain superpowers, and they realize that the world takes from them and changes to become more like them as much as they change to become more like the world. So, which I think is a neat concept in a way. One of them, the main character, well, not the main character, but the character driving the story, doesn't gain powers for some reasons that are not fully explained, that might be explained in later books. So they try to return back to their world. They fight, they meet their family who has apparently been missing for months because time doesn't flow similarly in this world and the next. And then at the end of the day, they realize, they were first overjoyed that they found out that the brother is actually back home. But by realizing that, they realize that they find out that they're not actually in their world. Now, that's the plot of the story. But like I don't think that is what the story is about. It's like and that's why I think it's when you have a different perspective in comic book writing, they tell, especially from female comic book writers, they don't tell the kind of stories, this kind of story from a male, and I'm not trying to be this thing, but from a male perspective, it's going to be like focus on the plot, focus on the action. This is very much focused on the relationship between the characters and how their trauma and grief affects them. And since the cast is like predominantly female, which is not something you see. It's 4 females and a guy in the band, and it's a flip on the concept, on the general concept of this kind of stories, because normally in stories like this, it's the other way around. It's 4 guys and the talking girl there. So it's a flip on that, and it's not as if all characters are developed equally, almost equally, with a focus on like the main two. Well,
I think the guy is developed the least. Will is developed the least.
Yeah, but remember, it's a flip on the other way. Like in normal shows like this, the token girl is just there for as love interest. Yeah,
that's what
the guy is just the love interest.
Yeah.
Right. You see, you said something now that I didn't think of before.
Yeah.
And what you just said seems to now address, I guess, my biggest issue with the comic. And I didn't realize, I didn't look at it at that angle. I didn't look at the angle that this is a gender, well, not gender flipped. This is a,
I think gender flipped is good. You know, I don't think that's
okay. So let me phrase it. Okay, actually, let me say my issue with the comic was, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the comic, but I was annoyed at what the focus on, the behaviors.
I agree with you. That's how I felt.
That the focus was on what?
The focus of the characters.
On the feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very feeling heavy.
And I'm here, and I guess as a man,
yes,
okay,
action,
solve the problem.
Like not even fighting, but
I didn't want to fight, but
move. No. Yeah, that's what I mean. Just
do logical things. Try and solve the problem.
Yeah.
What is all of this nonsense you're doing? And then you went back and okay, you didn't get powers. Okay, let's shrug.
Yeah.
Okay. Even and this is the sci-fi me, the sci-fi geek in me. You walk into an alien planet. There's no precaution. You're just like a mumu. Even if you have never been an astronaut in your life, you've watched Star Trek, you've watched all these sci-fi shows. You know you just can't just be walking anyhow into alien. So all those kind of things was getting at me. But when you said that,
no, when you say walking into a completely alien world without precautions, that is like standard Star Trek, Stargate universe, even Stranger Things, like this is the standard trope of all our famous TV shows growing up.
All the famous old ones that we always
even the newer ones are even sometimes more daft than those ones. You just walk into a strange location and they just, without any sensible precaution about it going in.
It's stupid.
Yeah, people are like it's. So it's not so. I don't think it's something.
Also, these are guys who are not even trained. So I thought you'd be more scared. Honestly, let's say that was me or us four. The moment we start about that cave, okay, I'm not even.
We are going back.
I'm not even from this. No, I'm very curious, but I'll be like, I'll take a stick. Let's take a stick. Let's touch that with a stick first. Those kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm being very picky.
Yeah.
Overall, I think Kex is correct. There was just this feeling of we're focusing on the relationships, the feelings between them, how you felt, and now, when you talked about, I don't know why, I just read this without thinking about maybe this is a viewpoint of a different gender entirely.
Yeah.
And now that you've called that to my attention, I think, okay. Maybe I've totally missed the whole point.
No, because like the entire story is like, this is a story where the plot is, how I put now, the plot is meant to complement their relationships, the real life issues.
And
like,
me, yes. And
you are so focused on the what is happening that
when it ended on issue 5, with what in my view is almost no resolution, I was thinking this better continue next week, or else I'll scatter this place. Because to me,
I think there'll be a volume 2. There's probably going to be a volume 2 of that. Yeah.
Because I was invested in the actual plots more. Yeah, that was what's going on? How are you going to solve this? You guys have fucked up this planet. What all that kind of stuff. That is what was going in my mind.
Yeah, but I think the plot. Before we talk about the feelings of the character itself, the plot itself. I mentioned earlier that it's a very basic plot. It's a plot we've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But I think this is why when you execute a plot well, I think this was done well.
I like the way they say the plot, because what you have is a mixture of, I think, at least 2 tropes. Yeah, for going to a foreign place, plus getting powers,
Mm-hmm.
and then you be responsible for almost the destruction.
Of the world, yeah.
Of the world, So yeah, in a way, don't get me wrong, I think it's very well written. It had me hooks.
Yeah.
But to repeat myself, my idea was, please, I wanted more focus on the plot itself and
Now,
less on it. Yeah, go on.
Questions about plot, because this is where we get this is where we are nerds and we are geeks. Like about the world building that happened there and the lore. So they entered through the portal, they got to this world. When they were going back, they found another flag that they mistook for theirs, and they ran through that flag into a different world entirely.
Yeah.
So it's assuming the original group of kids from that second world also entered that realm and did something. Now they make a comment that equivalent exchange, where they give something to gain something back. And when their own brother was thrown in, a dead body was thrown out, so they assume that the brother is dead. So, question: what happened to the original group of kids from the second world?
So here's an issue I have with that.
Yeah.
The clue that clued them in that this is what was not a word was the fact that the flag was in the house.
Yeah.
Which means the flag
it was not the same. They found a flag at the what's this thing called? But I'm not sure if it was their flag they saw or just the flag when they were running out.
So their flag, I think their flag had a smiley face on it.
Yeah, and this one had the love.
That's the kids that we followed. So, but the other one did not have a smiley face. He had either had a heart or a sad face.
It was a heart, yes.
Yeah, something different from there. So that was what clued them at first that there's something wrong, and then they got to their Miles Morales moment at the end of Spider-Man 2 to say, okay, I'm in the wrong place.
But question is, the flag that was the heart, was it the same flag? What flag did they see when they were coming out? Was it a heart flag?
They just ran towards the flag. I don't think they showed.
See, no, they didn't show the flag. Now, I missed the hearts and circle thing that you guys are talking about.
Okay.
But she made a comment when they went into the other house.
Yes.
Yeah.
The comment she made was, we didn't take the flags. She made a comment, which means that, people in that world, they left the flags at home.
No, because why they ran into that particular rock was because they saw a flag.
No, I get that.
But they thought they planted their own flag when they were coming into the world.
I get that.
Yeah.
At the end of the comic, when they went to that house, she said, "This is not our house because these people they've left the flag behind." So that in my mind, also I was thinking, okay, there's maybe more than one group of these people.
Yeah, there's more than one group. Yeah, you're right. So
it could be the 2, 3, 4.
So let's use the ones that we follow. Let's call them Group A, right?
Yeah.
So Group A, they left Earth A. They went into the liminal space or whatever they called it, and then when they were trying to escape, they went into the wrong cave because they saw a flag in front of that cave. Now the cave that they went into took them to World B.
Yep.
Right now, the kids in World B have left World B as well on a similar voyage and coming to that place, but we don't know where kids B are. Now, when they now went to their homes and they all met, so that's why those ones' parents too, they were like, "Where have you been? We haven't seen you since." And they didn't bump into their equivalents on that planet, right?
Yes.
Now, when they went to the what's her name? I can't Claire or something. Claire's house.
Yeah.
Claire. Yeah. When they went to her home, I think somebody saw a bag with some flags inside it, and it was the bag that first clued them in that they were in the wrong place.
Yes.
Now I don't know what the symbol on that flag was, but it was the flag that first clued them in that this is not our Earth. Now I don't understand what is. Are you saying that where is Group B?
Where is Group B and possibly Group C?
Why is there a C?
Because all the flags of Group B of the new Earth there is at home. But they saw a flag in front of Group B's portal.
Okay.
So did Group B not take their flags when they were going to the portal, or did they make more flags than they needed?
No, okay.
When they went to the portal and left some at home.
I've just gone back to that last page.
Yeah.
I take it back. She didn't say they didn't take their flags.
Okay.
She saw the bag of flags and she saw the
flag. She looked at it.
Yeah.
And she said,
Yeah.
I think we're on the wrong earth.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
That's all she said.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's possible there are only just 2 groups.
Yeah, it's possible. Yes,
That
it's possible.
for now that we know of. Yes.
That we
Okay.
know of,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Because I went back to check and we didn't see the exact flag that they saw. It was just a red flag. We didn't see what symbol was on that particular flag. So when they ran into the portal to the Earth. So there's that as well. But it's interesting, like where's Group B and where's their own original
Earth? So we saw a dead body, right?
What?
We saw a dead body.
No.
When it threw out.
No, so they mentioned that it was like before the comic started that at the same time when our brother got missing, a dead body was washed up.
They found a weird.
Yeah, a weird body.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, so they assumed there was an equivalent exchange of, oh, you killed them and they sent one out, so something like that happened. But yeah, I think on that aspect, I like those kinds of mysteries. Like that is the kind of mysteries we are here for. We like to geek out about things like this, and we can talk for hours trying to figure out how the timelines match up. So on that aspect, I think it's well done. But now let's talk about any other part you want to talk about.
No.
Please go on.
Yeah, the characters themselves. Do you like this group of characters or not?
If I'm being honest,
I like all of them except the main girl. I like all of them except the main girl.
The main girl.
I like the whale guy a lot. The only guy in the group. Yeah, the main girl, Claire, Chloe, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
The one that cuts herself.
Yeah.
The one that cuts herself. The main character, the sister of the
boy that is missing.
Yeah.
So what? I'm confused. Why are we calling her the main character?
I mean, she's the one that she's the driving force of the group.
We broke up with her. I don't know. I just feel she's the MC.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't like her. I think she got her friends involved in something. I understand that grief is very
right. Sorry. I just now because for some reason in my mind I was thinking of the black girl as a main character, but I've just realized she's not.
If you think about it, really, the black girl is the lead, is the focal point of the story revolves around. While the main girl, she's one that's moving the plot. The black girl has the most relation.
She
feels
like
black girl is the leader. Yeah, she's considered the leader. The Asian girl, Wade, is considered the smartest.
Yes.
The fine girl, I can't remember, Laurie or something, is like the sexy one.
The popular one, the sexy one.
Yeah. The whale boy is just kind of like a supporting character.
The love interest,
the love interest.
So the reason why I did not, in my mind, and I've just realized why I couldn't think of her, the main character, as the main character, is because it does start with her. She does do all the talking, and she's the one who has a trauma where she's trying to find her brother. But a lot of the book.
She becomes incredibly passive.
Yes.
I agree.
Once they enter the portal, she becomes passive, and then you can now see the story shifts towards the black girl and how she's trying. So there's that shift that happens.
I agree with that. Yeah, I just looking at it that her trauma is the driving force of
the story.
Compels them to do this crazy.
And they're making an assertion that there's probably some. I'm going to use the word darkness in her as to why she didn't get powers.
Yes.
And then she eats some weird fruit that she had. She didn't take it from the. No. She took it from there.
I assume she did.
I can't remember her taking it from there or plucking anything from there. So she took something that obviously she knew about. So she's probably keeping secrets.
No, I think she took it on purpose. Wasn't that when she read?
She ate it, but today saying where did she get it from? I thought she got it from the place.
I'm not sure she picked anything.
Well, there's a scene of her bending down. Oh no, that's not her. That's Wade. That's the Chinese.
Yeah.
So let's go through to see do we actually see her pick it up?
Because for me, I think she's still hiding things from her friends.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because I think there's a good reason, and it's not just because she's completely hollow emotionally inside that the world rejected. I think that's a very flimsy excuse for her not getting powers instantly. So I think she's still hiding something.
Okay.
And why is it when she eats it, she gains powers? So something is off there for me.
Now,
And why? How did she? Because she was scared to eat it. You could see her crying in tears, and then she takes it. I think almost knowing what would happen and doing it anyway. Maybe I'm reading too much into that.
I don't know.
Right,
I don't know.
There's one question, and again, this is a little nitpick. That camera the guy picked up, was that his or somebody else's?
When they came out, that's somebody else's.
Which camera?
When they came out of the portal.
When he with the camera.
No, they picked it up in. He picked it up in the.
Yeah, it was his one because
that was his camera
that I dropped earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way they shot that place, I just had this feeling that this guy's picked somebody else's camera up, and then when they get home, when they view it, they might see something different.
It might be because they've not viewed it yet.
Yeah.
It might be. They've not viewed, so that might be camera. They will too.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've not seen that yet. But
So I don't know.
You say you don't like Cleo because
I don't at all. I don't at all. I
don't. Yeah.
Because of her grief, she basically pushes these 4 kids or 4 of her besties, to go into a strange world. I mean, I would be like, man, okay, at least let me wait here. Go and call my parents. Let's get a search party before we go into this place. Not say, no, I'm going in. She's just carrying too much load. And this is where, like I said, this is a very feelings-driven book, which I felt, honestly, in the hands of someone like maybe James Tynion, would be more my speed. But because of the way Kelly's writing it, it's very emotional. Like, okay, so she goes in and we find out that she's a cutter, so she's cutting herself. And the typical thing is that people like this are either punishing themselves or they feel very hollow, that they don't, they don't feel a lot, and they're just trying to just experience something, even if it's pain. And she's been doing this for a while because the black girl, I don't remember her name now,
Katie,
the leader, Katie. The Katie now says, "Oh, you're still doing this. I thought I told you to stop." Blah 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 blah. She starts crying. There's a lot of crying in this. I'm like, okay, this one is now crying. Then they hug and kiss because obviously they used to go out together. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's a very silly.
No, so that particular scene where they kiss, and because it's the same scene where Will
and kissing are making out. Yeah.
Are making out. At first, I thought it was influenced by the environment because it came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah. Like, I get you. Like,
nobody
the
said
approached him, I was like, dying, so let's do this here. Really?
I'm like, I thought initially, but I wasn't sure because nobody referenced it anymore.
Yeah, of course.
It felt like it came out of maybe something up in the air is making them do that way. So that's why I just wrote it off that way. But you are right about Cleo. She's very and
then the bit where they're all fighting the crab thing or whatever, I know that's just call it the crab thing, and then she's crying and she's like, I thought she took that food from there, but whatever it is that, she now starts to eat it, and I don't know whether I don't know whether it was fear or uselessness or what was making her feel that way, and it just felt so overwhelming to me. I'm not someone that I'm very used to very deep, very heavy feelings like that, especially from a teenage girl. So I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, what do you want?
And
I don't know what you want.
This is coming from a man that will cry for at the top of the heart for movies.
For a sad movie. But I don't know. Are you sad? Okay, if you're sad, why are you sad? Like, what's going on here? I feel very, very powerless. Like,
in that. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't like her particularly. I don't like her much. The others, it felt like the others each had a time to shine.
Yeah.
If that's genuinely what it felt like to me. Like, Wade she was like, her ability to put things together is like, she's the kind of person that if you're arguing with, the way she would just be leaping from one thing to another, you'll be like, wait, I said A, where did you get to X now? I've never argued with like someone, usually a woman, and then you say something and then she takes it like 4 steps and you're like, calm down. That's not what I said though. So that's how, like, the way she can extrapolate from like the smallest thing, I'm like, this is really clever, really good, almost unrealistic, but just for the purpose
I
of
mean,
let's
she's
she's like
standing for moving the plot. Yeah,
genius. Yeah, she's a genius level person, let's say. So I like
yeah.
her. So she's the one who's kind of our avatar and telling us what's going on and kind of breaking it down to us, really. Will is like the Will is like the cool guy, he's just like, hey girls, he's like he honestly he almost comes off as a little effeminate because with his long hair and he doesn't really have any really macho moments in the whole thing. He's always
The new
hanging
man.
back. Yeah, he's like, okay, fair enough. Then you've got the really brave girl, who I kind of like a lot.
Which one?
Who the girl who she's gone through some tough things. The one who her mom kills herself,
Ah, yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah. Who wants
She's
to be
gone
an
through some
actress?
tough
Yeah.
things. Yeah, who wants to be an actress? But you can still get the sense that she'll fight to protect her friends, which I liked. So
They
everybody kind
actually
of
made
had
mention of that because she has actually faced violence, like
face violence. Yeah,
abuse.
yeah. She's had
Yeah,
difficult things at home.
yeah.
And then the black girl who is like the leader. She's looking out for everybody. She's trying to make sure everybody's okay. I really, really like Kate as well. And her parents. She seems the most even keeled out of all of them somehow. But
Yeah.
yeah, the story to me was too short for 5 episodes, for 5 issues.
Too
There's a
short.
lot. Yeah, it was too. It was.
Uh,
I felt
No,
like there's just too much. I don't understand.
I
You spend
agree.
so much time
I felt like
feeling stuff.
I felt like
And
it's
not like
it's
for me, this is like the first arc. You know the
yeah,
way people
yeah,
are
but
writing comics nowadays that okay, take this first arc, then we'll do a second arc, maybe where we can get to it.
yeah, but
Then
there's a
we'll do
lot.
another arc later on. Yeah.
There's a lot that should have been in these 5 issues that were not, in my view.
I think
Things
this
like
is perfect.
even the fact that she ate that fruit, and I've just looked at that scene again. That fruit definitely came from where they went.
from where they went.
Yeah, no, it came from where they went,
Yeah,
but
100%.
when did she pick it up? When did
Yeah,
she get it? Because my mind,
now
it yeah.
Yeah,
technically,
but they might not just show it.
technically she could have picked it up on when she go back, because that plant lady was frying all sorts of plants all over the place.
Yeah.
So she could have grabbed one of those. It could easily be one of those that she ate. Because I've looked at it, they're not dissimilar from those things that one of the girls was using as a
Okay.
weapon. My issue with her, with Cleo, she, that Jimmy, she's a downer, a total downer.
Really is.
I mean, to be fair, I from her because they didn't show it. Like she was watching her kid, her brother, and her brother went missing on her watch.
I don't disagree with you. I'm
You
just saying.
you are giving the reasons why she's a
She's,
downer.
she's just
But she's a downer.
She's a
I
downer,
don't think she's.
and yes, she's got trauma.
She's basically, if you Stranger Things, she's basically Will from Stranger Things, season 1.
Who is Will?
Was Will this bad?
The one that got taken, that still has that connection
That
to.
nigga is dead thing, man. I don't like that guy at all. I don't like that guy at all, man. I don't like him. Yeah, she is. I am hoping that they continue this.
Yeah.
Because it feels like I just feel incredibly dissatisfied with the way it ended. I can't put my finger on it.
100%.
I can't put
No,
my
but
finger
it's like I don't know. I think for me, I'm perfectly fine because for me, it's like
I know.
okay, this is the opening. This is the opening arc.
Well, it better
The
be.
much larger story.
It better be.
I'm hoping
It
it's
better be.
honestly. If it ends
Or
here,
if it's not, they should just collect the book from
Yeah.
her. I'll give it to Tinian.
yeah.
No,
would have
because-
done this.
Nah,
in my opinion.
I like the book though. I like the
No,
for
I
me,
enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed
Yeah.
this book, but my instant reaction after finishing that this cannot be the end.
It can be that's continue. No, it has to continue. It
I need
definitely
like
has
10
to
more
continue.
issues, and it's not just about it's not about the feelings and even the feelings that described. I need to understand why her powers manifested the way it manifested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That bit is why I'm not sure what happened, and even in terms of the feelings, I am not sure why that triggered such a change in her. Because
An immediate one. It was so different from the others.
Yeah.
they
And had to stay in the environment. Sorry, go.
And she seemed angry. She came out angry. I guess more angry. The rest seemed to be in pain and then happy.
Yeah.
She was in pain. Was she even in pain herself? But she came out really angry. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. I'm a survivor. I'm going to kill all of you. Okay, madam. Okay. Yes,
it feels like
I don't want to underestimate what trauma affects people.
Of course.
See, two things can be right. You have trauma, it affects you badly, things happen. People who cut themselves have big issues and they need to seek professional help. But obviously, from the other side of the people who were around her, to them, she should be a downer.
No, but like,
and these friends were good friends because they were okay. We know you lost your brother. We're willing to risk our lives, which in a way is a bit moronic, if I'm being honest. Because if I was true friends, I'd be calling professional help. Like this woman,
remember these are kids. I remember how foolish.
Yeah, they're not kids.
I mean, I wasn't that foolish at that age, but I know how
exactly. They're not kids, especially when you got a group of 5, and they're not all donuts. One of them is meant to be very intelligent.
They are a group of 5, but she's going. The peer pressure of the leader says, you know what? I'm going to. This is my big chance for more because she's in love with that one. I'm the leader of this peer pressure group. I'm going as well. It becomes a lot difficult in that age group to stay. I'm going to take a stand.
In a way, I get it because I understand peer pressure. Yeah. But I guess I'm being harsh because I'm looking from my point of view of me and how I was at that age, and I was never one to give into peer pressure. So obviously, people who do, I tend to kind of have a low opinion of them. I mean, like those who started smoking because everybody was smoking, those who started drinking because everybody was drinking. We all had it, So, but you're right. A lot of kids do. I mean, it's that formation era where some people are followers, some people are leaders. Yeah. So I can allow it, but it still kind of irks me a bit that
besides, this is imagine the opposite. You choose to stay behind, and your friends go get themselves killed.
No, I would have gone and reported them.
No, you would have gone and reported them, but in the midst of you going to go and report them now, by the time you get back, you realize, they are all dead or something.
Yeah,
or something like you'll be you.
No, I think that guilt. If I went, we'll all be dead.
You would still feel that guilt, though. Like that's what
I should have died with them.
So I want to ask a question. Do we know the not even the exact, but the high level circumstances that her brother disappeared?
Oh yeah, she was watching her brother at that exact beach.
At that beach, okay, and then
beach, and then she maybe turned around for a few seconds or something, and the brother got missing. Yeah, and they started a big search party, and they could never find the brother till now.
Okay,
and then
because I just wanted to ask why she was so certain that he was there before they entered and I think they found his jacket or something.
Yeah, so I think she has been there before.
That's so I
that's why she was so sure of that. Yeah. I don't trust her to have told everything. Yeah, that's why I was so sure that the food she had it from somewhere else, not from, and the rejection was for something completely different and not emotional.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
What has she done in that space, in that place that has caused
all of this? And why is she so sure the brother is there and things like that? But there's that aspect as well. And then I think for me now, the emotional part of this, like the character growth and everything, it's something I think I like a lot. They try to showcase, and for once, not everybody is in stories like this. Everybody has a shitty background. Everybody has like a different type of trauma that is affecting them, and they come together. But not everybody here is broken. Some of the Wade and Will, we don't know their backstory, but they seem well adjusted. Katie obviously.
You're right. They seem well adjusted, but they're living with their uncle and grandma, so that makes the question.
Yeah, so they might have some. Yeah, but Katie comes from loving parents.
Yeah, that for sure.
Dad and mom, and they have a very good relationship. But and then you see how that affects their friendship. How, for example, the romance between Kate and Cleo.
Yeah.
When she's talking, and was it Wade that called her aside, or was it before they entered the cave that hey, what are you going to do about it? Like, how are you helping your friends out? I think it does a lot in showing how, for me, and I think that's why the book excels, it shows how in situations where people's friends are down, how they go out of their way to help a friend and what's the correct response of dealing with that situation. And then it shows a lot about like, oh, and that's why I said the book is not just about the sci-fi aspect. It's more about exploring all these emotional things, using that as a vehicle. So like when they are in the cave, when they are discovering their powers, how the power reflects who they are, and how their own relationships and how they go through that. So I think those quiet moments are, for me, are some of the strongest parts of the book. And that's why when they get back to their world, they meet their parents. You can see the writer takes a lot of time
Yeah,
to show them there. And it's, yeah, even before the other shoe dropped, it's like it's so kind seeing them all together surviving, seeing them with their family, going from one family to another.
Right? When they finally
Yeah.
got to Kate's parents, and Kate's parents said, "Look, stay here the night. In the morning, we will all go to this girl's family to go and see." And they still snuck out.
Yeah,
they entered cave. They entered cave without knowing what is inside the cave into another world, and they stayed to explore.
The parents said, "Don't go out."
I actually played the parents.
I was like, "What is this?"
I would have been with gone in their room. No, you think we've lost it for God knows how long? You just turned up, and then no. We're all staying together.
That part was
I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, you don't even know what the lay of this land is now that these things have come back. You don't know where everybody's running from. Okay, let's just chill. In the morning, all of us will go together, so we have ample protection. And
what? I'm gonna reread all five tonight.
Yeah, you should, because like
I enjoyed it, but I wanted more, and I was left wanting more, and more of what I want. Not what she was giving me.
Not what she was writing. But like because like when you read, and I think I've noticed it more with female writers, Kelly Thompson, Mariko Tamaki, even this lady writing X-Men, Ultimate X-Men, Peach Momoko. Like when you read a lot more, I think it's different. They focus more on what characterization actually means, how they go deeper into the psyche of characters. It's not just about the big plot twists and everything. And the really good ones don't let it detract from the plot. It's like the plot helps in service of that.
I guess it's because I want to say that even the men do go into characterizations, but I guess
not like this.
No. I think the difference is, a male character generally is different from a female character in terms of how we behave. So So when we're seeing from this, we're looking at it's all about the feelings, the empathy. How that we men don't really operate that way. I'm not saying we don't have feelings, but we don't show it away.
Or who, what, why, when. It is like who, what, why, when.
In a weird way, I think. Well, I don't want to get into all this kind of bullshit, gender study bullshit, but men have a different way of when there's a problem, how they want to attack it. They want to solve it. That's their way of coping. Shit, this happened. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna do A, B, C, D, 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 D. Female, it's a problem. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's understand our feelings about it, and let's get it out on the air. Let's deal with it. So I guess in big generalities, there's a different. We have different coping mechanisms. I guess is the way you want to talk. Before some people talk, but I'm talking generalities because I know you people out there. As soon as you say something, they'll say, "Oh, but I'm different." No. In general terms, So I think people like Kelly Thompson, when they show us from a female side, we see, oh wow, what's going on here? This is not one. For me, it's the male instinct kicked in. Why are you guys wasting time with all of this talking thing? We solve the problem here. You understand? So, but So to they put it out. Okay, yes, this is
I don't
do
get. I
not
don't
expect
get
them to
why.
behave.
I don't get why that girl, Laura, whatever her name is. I don't get why she asked Will to sleep with her in that place.
I don't
I
see
don't.
get it.
Why the
I
girl
don't.
asked?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
she asked Will like,
Yeah,
in
but
"Hey,
that place at that time.
at that time,
okay,
I'm going
so
to we might die."
this shows how you guys are out of touch with your feminine side.
Yeah, no, me, I
So,
know.
No, it's
so
not. It's not about. It's not about
Let
asking.
me
I,
know.
It's
I, I,
about.
I am
Okay, I shall
sure.
have land.
You see, yeah, I was there. But I know. Texas for people. I'll put my foot in it. I'm not.
No, I'm genuinely
Uh,
like, go on.
this is where we would have if Mia was here now.
Okay,
Mia may have a good perspective of why that will happen. She might be able to tell us better.
agreed. Okay,
I think we should get her or someone else on the board to come to read the books,
Yeah.
and because I'm sure there are things about this story that we've obviously missed.
Yep.
That they might be able to point out to us.
Yep.
Because like that's in I said earlier that I thought for both situations like something was happening. Like maybe the polling in the air was touching
yeah, it
everybody,
was giving
one kind,
because
and everybody.
yeah,
It could be. It could be someone was hiding their senses. Someone was giving them a little push to do certain things.
Yeah.
Another thing that was one that I was wondering afterwards is if the other team, the other people going there,
why didn't the animals change to reflect
thank
them?
you exactly. They should be changing for. They should be changing for those people as well.
They should have changed already.
Unless
they change back.
What people?
Maybe.
What are we talking about?
Oh yeah,
like the second group.
The aliens they meet the other life, like they were changing immediately to reflect the humans they see.
Correct.
And it felt like they were meeting humans for the first time when they were meeting
yeah.
that group.
Yeah. So let's say
It felt like that, yeah. So if the other group had been there already, because there's a flag there, then why haven't they already changed that way? Why are they still feeling like they're just?
Do we know for a fact that this liminal space, I like that phrase that King's used, that this liminal space is a central fixed space, and all the other portals. How do we know that the portals from Earth itself is not shuttling, and that where you come in, you go to different places every time? That they might even look similar. They might look. I'm just
that's
saying.
a good point.
You know,
that's a very good point. But that's a very good point because if that's the case, where your head portal is shuttling from it, even if it's a fixed point, but I think it will betray the narrative of the story because if that's the case, they would have Kelly won't have any problem showing us their flag when they are running to the portal. But she showed us, she just showed us a red. She didn't show us the full flag, making it seem as if you go back, you missed it. You didn't look at it, so she won't have done that.
It's so strange. I'm reading this, and when I go for I'm thinking, where's your rope? Where's your long rope? Where's this is all the things that will go through my head.
There are so many things that as they're entering that portal, like, oh wait, we are not prepared enough. Let's go and get this thing. Let's go and get this thing. Let's go and get this thing. Even if I'm not telling anybody, we need to go in. At least it's not just spur of the moment kind of thing that we're entering.
Yeah. And
even if Cleo had made those preparations earlier that this is the exact time of the night we can only go in at this point in time, but should have done more to prepare our people that I've gotten the bags of supplies, I've gotten this thing. It's not just flags. Like why would flags be your only tool in this kind of situation? That was what was affecting me. Like I was so bothered about that. Yeah.
The first time I go there, I'm not moving more than 5 feet inside that whole planet.
I'm not. You know what? Let me even tell you something weird. When they got in the water, I'm like, let me tell you something. I'm not into that water. I'm not into that water.
We'll carry sample of the water. We'll do tests.
Even if it's ankle.
Second day, I said no. Okay, we have done 3 feet inside.
We have established this. Let's move on.
Tomorrow we'll bring drone. We bring.
I think, and I'm not sure. Kelly, the main character, chose that exact time of day because that's the only time she gets in. I'm not sure if
if you're correct, that points more to the fact that she
has gotten in before,
and
she has seen it before.
It will also explain why nobody else has found that place because if it was always open,
Yeah, because she gave them an exact, not exact time, but like an exact time to get there and everything. Yeah, so it's like there's an exact time you can actually access that portal. So yeah.
Okay, should we rate this one?
Yes, please. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So let me start. I enjoyed this, but then I was unfulfilled at the end. So I'll give this a 3. Let me not dawdle too much. I'll just give this a 3.
Okay. That one.
I actually enjoyed it a lot more. You said 3, right?
Yeah.
I know. I think 3 for me would be too low. I'm giving it a 3.5 personally.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I want more, and I want more of what. So 3.5 for me personally.
Yeah, I'll go higher than that. It's not exactly a 4. 3.8 will be for me. I enjoyed and it's always refreshing to read this kind of stories from.
Yeah, and the fact that I want to read it alone says enough that
it's a good book. We discussed it for quite a while without just us bashing it. Like we're actually curious about what was happening. So that's a big win. We don't do that for a lot of things on the podcast.
No.
Yeah,
that's true.
So yeah, I think we might still continue. Well, I think we are still continuing to read some of these comics.
We should
the Eisner Award nominated comics. So maybe we'll continue that next week.
Yeah. Let's do that next week. We've done one. We'll pick up another one next week, and we'll talk about that one.
Another one and talk about it properly. Yeah.
So next week we have Superman again. Oh my god! And then let's do 2 next week. Let's do 2 next.
Let's do 2.
Okay.
Anyway, The Boys is coming soon, so at least this month.
Okay, excellent. Okay, that's it for episode 185, guys. Remember to rate, like, subscribe, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Today.
Okay, sayonara, people. Till next week, and remember, DC had 7 nominations. Marvel had only 3.
What is the color of your problem? What is the color of your problem? Sorry, listeners. We'll see you later. Thanks for listening, and see you later.